What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for January 21st, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Sunday edition, yet another divisional playoff Sunday without the Eagles in it. Yesterday's games were pretty decent. I guess Baltimore pulled away at the end. Niners and Packers played well. Niners didn't look good, but they were able to pull it out. I think that was just honestly a testament to the difference in talent. Green Bay is going to be tough moving forward, though. Jordan Love, I think, to me, proved that he's legitimate in this league. So it should be fun to see how they play moving forward. But again, it's all for nothing because there's no Eagles. Quick correction from yesterday. I had mentioned that Darryl Sittler was originally on the Calgary Flames. I mistakenly said that because the Flyers played the Flames on this day yesterday. Darryl Sittler actually played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So as I always say, I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the most accurate information. Darryl Sittler played for Toronto before coming to the Flyers. Another quick housekeeping note. We had a fundraiser thing at the kids' high school last night. It was the Harlem Wizards. And I have to say, in all of my years in going to basketball games, I've never seen what I saw yesterday. Guy came out, won the lottery to do a half-court shot for $10,000, and he actually hit it. I've never been to a game where somebody hit the half-court shot. At Temple, they used to do where you needed to do a layup, a foul shot, and then a three-pointer, and then you could win a car. I've seen a couple people, including me, get to the half-court shot after making the other ones. But first time ever, the place went nuts. Like, it was actually a pretty cool moment. But I don't know. Let me know when you're leaving your text message and voicemails for today's show. Let me know if you've ever seen that because it was incredible. And, like, while it wasn't my $10,000, I think everybody was just excited to really see that. So I don't know. I wish it was me, but it wasn't. But congratulations to that dude because it was actually a pretty fun moment for that to happen. All right. Question of the day recap. It did seem as though everybody was all over the place. There was not really a majority. I think a lot of folks were anti-49er, but the other three teams were equally as voted on. So as always, thank you for participating in the question of the day. 267-495-8531. Get you in on the voice and text line. Leave a voicemail, send a text message, get your voice heard. While you're at it, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, Jimbo_Mott. We're trying to get up to 100 subscribers. That way we can start doing more things. Spread the word too. Have your friends, family, grandma, whoever, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mott, and it opens up so many more doors for us. So do that. Also, I've been talking about it. My wife and Ella are going out today to sell some Girl Scout cookies, but why go out and venture out? Buy your Girl Scout cookies from Ella. Help support her. The link to everything you need for her is in the description wherever you're watching or listening to this. Don't buy your Girl Scout cookies from anyone else. Buy them from Ella. Go do it. Link and all the information you need is in the description. Finally, happy birthday to my mom out there. Been kind of an eventful week for her, so hopefully you're able to relax and just enjoy your birthday today. But happy birthday, Mom. If you know my mom and you see her or talking to her, wish her a happy birthday. All right, Flyers, the streak is over. The 5-game losing streak ended yesterday. They lost 7-4. Got down early, but they did battle back. They made it a goal late. Like I said, they showed some fight, and for a young team, being able to fight and make games close that really shouldn't be close, I think that is kind of the takeaway from this. Yes, they played sloppy in order to get down 3-0, but I think the fact that they showed the fight and did not give up, it would have been very easy for them to just pack it in, being down 3-0. They did battle back. Unfortunately, Owen Tippett was injured. No word as of this morning on what the injury was. They just said, hockey cracks me up. It's a lower body injury, so it's about as vague as you can get. It's like Bill Belichick style. But But they're back in action this afternoon against the Senators and old friend Claude Giroux. That's at 1 o'clock. And again, yesterday, I mean, Colorado was a good team, so no harm in losing to them. You would have liked to see them knock it down early like that, but the fight they showed will certainly take that. Sixers also came out on the winning end, 97-89. Joe had his 20th straight 30-point performance, tying him with Wilt Chamberlain all-time in NBA history. It was a sloppy win. They tried their best to blow it. Luckily for them, the Hornets are just a bad team. They did, and the only reason I know this is because I watched, or I was listening to the very end of it coming home from the Wizards. They tried to blow it at the end. They had a 12-point lead, 13-point lead late, and allowed the Hornets to come back. And the only reason I know this is because I had the Sixers minus 11, and at one point it was minus 13, and all of a sudden then it was the Sixers were only leading by 5. So got to get that cleaned up. Once Nick Nurse emptied the bench, that's when the Hornets mounted a mini comeback, had to put Tyrese, Joe, and Batum back in the game. But they get out of there with the win, their 5th straight win. Joe extended his 30-point streak. Monday, they take on the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. Anxious to see this guy play. You don't get a chance to see him play that much being in San Antonio, and they play a lot of late games. So excited to see him play on Monday night. All right, while you're trying to stay warm today, maybe send the kids out to play, go check out Philly Goat. I've been telling you about it. They have your Philly sports apparel needs covered. Got to get that Believe shirt in time for pitchers and catchers, less than a month away. And I'm telling you, it doubles as a Sixer shirt. Get your Flyers gear there. If you want to stock up for next season and you're still not too pissed off, get your Eagles gear. Check out the shoes for the spring at the beach. They amazing people over there. So go to phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery when you check out for 10% off of your order. You will not be disappointed. All right, some Eagles news. And still no word on the Nick Sirianni situation. As I mentioned yesterday, you're not going to hear that. I doubt anyway, because it's just a bad look, bad optics for them to come out and say Nick Sirianni is going to be our coach, because I feel like a lot of this is media driven. Yes, there are some kernels of truth, I'm sure, to them questioning whether or not they wanted him back or not, but I don't necessarily, and I think you probably have those questions every year, minus maybe after a Super Bowl year, or I just don't put a lot of stock in that, and everybody's freaking out that we haven't heard. And I don't know, like, it's not that big of a deal. He's coming back. I'm going on record. I think he deserves to have a chance to come back. We're not going to hear a big deal about it because, as far as they're concerned, why would they? And I think part of it, too, if you think about the Eagles organization and how they do things, they're going to kind of not say anything just to spite the media and the fans and everything. So no news. I mean, I think the longer this goes, at this point, if they do fire him, I have to question then Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, because you're wasting all of this time that you could have been interviewing candidates. So I think he's going to be back. I don't think you're going to hear an announcement, nor should I think there should be an announcement. For what? I mean, let me know what you think. Maybe you think there should be an announcement. 267-495-8531. But why would they have to announce that they're keeping their head coach? I mean, it's not like Dallas, who Mike McCarthy, again, came into the season right on the hot seat. So if that's the situation, and you know Nick Sirianni's coming into 2024 with his butt on the hot seat, then maybe the end of next year you have to make an announcement. Yeah, we're sticking with Nick. But right now, I don't see a need for it. 3 years, 3 playoff runs, a Super Bowl. I mean, and if you think about it, the two other playoff runs, if they didn't have to play Tampa Bay, maybe they would have come out different. Who knows? I doubt it. But speaking of that, apparently the other report is that Bill Belichick wanted no parts of the Cowboys or the Eagles. And I got to be honest, and maybe somebody can explain it to me. I don't get the fascination with a 70-year-old Bill Belichick. I mean, as far as the numbers, coaches do not like, and again, it's never happened. Coaches don't win the Super Bowl with two teams. So if your goal is to bring Bill Belichick for the Eagles to win a Super Bowl, you're bucking 50, almost 60 years worth of history to do something that's never happened, one. And two, I mean, again, 70 years old, yes, he's going to come in and help, like he would be a presence for the defense, but I don't know, how long is he going to coach? Is he only coaching more to get that record? Like, I don't know. I, for one, am not on the Bill Belichick bandwagon to be my coach anyway. But that's always something, too. You can let me know what you think. 267-495-8531. But sign me up for Bill Belichick. We're rolling with Nick, and we'll see how things go. Before you watch the games today, check out my boys over at the Clash of Conferences podcast. They put a bow on the Eagles and Cowboys season. There are no NFC East teams left, but the podcast rolls on. So check them out, the Clashing Conferences, wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. Finally, a quick Phillies note before we get into today's episode. Maybe somebody can explain this too, because I'm missing something. Somebody explain the Bill Belichick love, and then somebody explain Chase Utley being on so many Hall of Fame ballots for the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame or Baseball Hall of Fame over Jimmy Rollins too. Like, somebody explain that. Like, all this love, like there was a big article today. My favorite columnist, Marcus Hayes, had Chase Utley. Like, I don't get it. Somebody explain to me how Chase Utley is a Hall of Famer. Jimmy Rollins, absolutely. I think he should be in, and I think it's a travesty that Chase Utley is getting the votes because he was more popular. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, he was sort of the guy that all the girls liked and like, I don't know, but like, to me, Rollins was the heart and soul of that team. Like, so please, somebody explain the Chase Utley love for the Hall of Fame to me. 267-495-8531. And I like Chase. I have his jersey hanging in my closet. I just don't get, like, how he is. Did he have potential? Yeah, but he couldn't say he had bad knees. And make it make sense. That's all I'm asking. Make that and Bill Belichick make sense to me. Like, it's never happened before. So why would you want Bill Belichick? And Chase Utley, not a Hall of Famer. Jimmy Rollins, borderline. I think he should be in. But why is Chase Utley getting the love? Let me know, please. Make it make sense. All right, today we're going to go back to 1958. And this is an interesting one, sticking with the Phillies. A little Phillies trivia that I was not aware of, and maybe some of the older, more senior listeners out there may know this. But the Giants and Dodgers left New York for San Francisco and LA for the 1958 season, which left New York without a National League team for the first time since 1876, which was the start of the National League, or the formation, I guess they call it. WOR in New York, the former TV home of the Brooklyn Dodgers, reached an agreement with the Phillies to broadcast 78 of their games in New York, 58 home, 20 away, 43 night games at Connie Mack Stadium. The Pirates and Cardinals also broadcast some of their games in New York in that market as well, but only when they played the Dodgers and Giants. So basically, the Phillies are getting broadcast into New York as like an alternative, or a National League alternative, to the Yankees. And back then, there was a huge rivalry between the National and American League. There wasn't interleague play. They only played in the World Series, so you were either a National League person or an American League person. So next closest city, I guess, was Philly, so they broadcast the Phillies in there. Well, the New York audience was treated to a 69 and 85 last place finish by the Phillies. Richie Ashburn and relief pitcher Turk Farrell were the two lone bright spots, both making the All-Star game. I don't think Ashburn even got into that game, but Farrell did pitch a little bit. This whole experiment with broadcasting the Phillies into New York only lasted one season because the Yankees obviously were the bigger draw. Plus, the Yankees, being the Yankees, decide to throw their weight around because, God forbid, they have a little bit of competition. They threatened to broadcast Yankee games in Philly the following year if they didn't stop because, of course, why wouldn't the Yankees do something like that? The Phillies, though, smartly said, okay, our team is terrible right now. We don't need, excuse me, we don't need the competition from New York. And they did not do it the next year, in which I hate to say it, though, as bad, the Phillies were that bad. The 50s and early 60s were not good for the Phillies, so it could have meant the death of baseball in Philadelphia at the time. So probably a smart thing for the Phillies to back off of this. But on this day, 1958, the Phillies signed a television deal with WOR in New York to broadcast 78 of their games to make up for the Dodgers and the Giants bolting New York for the West Coast, giving National League fans in New York, I guess, something to watch, even though it was a terrible season by the Phillies, 69 and 85 and a last place win. The Yankees, I have to say, the Yankees being the Yankees probably helped save baseball in Philly. I mean, if you can connect those dots and make that a stretch. But again, I thought this was an interesting little trivia fact that the solution to losing the Dodgers and the Giants was broadcasting Phillies games in New York. Whoo, man. Hey, whatever floats your boat. All right, and finally, our free agent who had a fresh start in Philly, sticking with the Phillies today, is probably one of the best, if not the best, free agent signing in Phillies history, quite possibly Philadelphia history, and that is one Bryce Harper. As we're gearing up for pitchers and catchers in less than a month, he signed a 13-year, $330 million contract in 2019, which by all accounts is a bargain right now. And Scott Boras, there's already some rumblings about getting some more money added to Bryce's contract. But Bryce came in and made a difference almost immediately, energized the fan base. All of a sudden, kind of took that team that floundered a little bit under the players that were there when Gabe Kapler was the manager and before they brought in Joe Girardi, and really kind of made everybody around him better. He's become a great recruiter, instantly fit into the culture of Philly, and really worked at it. And I think that should be a good lesson for a lot of players and coaches and things coming in, is like pander. I mean, it's dumb as it sounds. So many people like fight against it. Pander to the Phillies fans. Like, just say, you know what? Get it. Like, I mean, he started. I wear one when I work out now. The Fanatic headband. Like, little things like that. He has the Fanatic shoes. Like, he's involved in the community. So, from that perspective, Bryce Harper totally gets it. And then on the field, he's actually delivered. He won the MVP in 2022. He won the the MVP in 2021. He was hurt in 2022 after he got hit in the hand with some freak injury, but led them on the World Series run, had the big home run, Bedlam at the bank, made the playoffs again in 2023. All told, in 5 years so far in Philly, he's hitting 284, 122 homers, 368 RBI, and that's including the shortened COVID season and then 2022 when he missed a good chunk when he broke his hand and was dealing with some elbow issues and things like that. But based just on that 5-year stretch and what he's done for the city of Philadelphia, it's one of the all-time best free agent signings in Philly history, not just Phillies. And he still has 8 years to go to kind of finish out that contract. It's one of those things, like, of all the guys, obviously we want all our teams to win, but I think everybody's rooting for Bryce Harper to win a World Series. And I think the way he gets it, he plays the game the right way, and a good role model for kids. As my kids are getting older and playing baseball and softball now, like, that's the kind of guy you want to sort of model: the hustle, the grit, putting in the effort, putting in the work, doing little small things to get things done, like sucking it up and playing first base and doing whatever you got to do to benefit the team. I think Bryce Harper in that regard gets it. So today's Philly free agent who had a fresh start, Bryce Harper, was by all intents one of the best players in the league coming into Philly. Has done nothing to change that. And I think the thing that often gets overlooked is, like he's had some down years where injuries and things like that as far as his average and things like that. But he is clutch. Like there's nobody that you want up when the game is on the line for a hit or a big home run than Bryce Harper. So that all leads to today's question of the day. Have a little bit of fun here on a Sunday. And I picked one from each team, but who is the best free agent signing of all time in Philadelphia? Is it Moses Malone? And I know he came in with a trade, but we're going to count him because let's change it. Instead of free agent, who's the best acquisition in Philly history? Is it Moses Malone, Bryce Harper, Malcolm Jenkins, or Danny Briere for what they've done for their teams when they came in? Let me know. 267-495-8531. The Moses Malone, he's kind of questionable with whether it was like, yes, he traded, but it was sort of like the Sixers said, yes, sign that contract and we'll take it. So it's one of those gray areas, so we'll count it. But who is the biggest acquisition in Philly history? Moses Malone, Bryce Harper, Malcolm Jenkins, Danny Briere. If there's somebody that should have made it from one of our teams that I missed, let me know. 267-495-8531. Send your text messages. Send your voicemails. Let me know what you think. The biggest acquisition in Philly history, is it Moses Malone, Bryce Harper, Malcolm Jenkins, or Danny Briere? And I'm basing it based off of what they did in Philly and with their impact on the team. All in honor of Bryce Harper being our Philly free agent who had a fresh start once they got here. On this day, back in 1958, the Phillies signed a TV deal with WOR to broadcast 78 games in the New York TV market to make up for the National League's Giants and Dodgers moving to the West Coast. Let me know what make Chase Utley make sense, make Bill Belichick make sense. I'm not getting it. Convince me. If you're going to convince me on Utley, you better damn sure convince me over Jimmy Rollins and even Bobby Abreu, to be honest. I think Bobby Abreu has a better case than Chase Utley. But let me know your thoughts on that. Maybe I'm underselling Chase Utley. Also, one last thing, and I wasn't gonna mention it, but rumors on the street, and I guess it's kind of, this is where I kind of feel like the Nick Sirianni thing is already sealed because now you're getting rumors about who's coming in as coordinators. Jim Bob Cooter is coming, rumored to be one of the guys that Sirianni and Howie Roseman have contacted. He's currently with the Colts, did some work with Sirianni before, worked around the league, various different places. Might be a welcome change, but I think if you're already hearing rumors of guys that are coming in, I think that ultimately seals Nick Sirianni's fate. But we'll see. Flyers in action this afternoon. Sixers tomorrow against Wembanyama. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Buy your Girl Scout cookies. All the details you need is in the description wherever you're watching or listening to this. But more importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're buying the cookies. It makes everyone happy. Be sure to wish my mom happy birthday if you have a way to contact her or you happen to see her. Stay warm today. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Until next time, I'll see you when I see you.